Hi there, and welcome to Something New. I'm Mark Peebles, and as always, I am here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. However, today marks a big change in our podcast, and so we're going to talk about that today. I want to kind of share my heart with you for the future of this podcast. We've called this Real Life in Real Estate. And I've had so much fun doing real life in real estate. And not a ton is going to change. We're still going to talk about real life things. We're still going to talk about real estate, but we do want to help you in your real estate business. However, I want to stay true to what I'm called to do. I love what I've heard a lot lately, and that is that my career is what I'm paid to do, but my calling is what I'm made to do. Well, I've been through this journey over the past several years where I have really dug deep into what is my purpose, what was I created to do. And let me tell you, for many years of my life, I was not working on purpose. But when I really discovered my purpose, and when I started to step into that purpose over the last several years, my life has just exploded with fulfillment and joy. And I feel so blessed. It's interesting because I always say that, when I am doing the things I'm created to do, one of which is this podcast, because I do this with the purpose of helping you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. Or when I go out and speak to inspire other agents, when I go out with a client and I get to speak into their family's future, all of this fits together as part of my purpose. Or even just with my own family, my own kids, my wife, getting to speak this life into them. When I get to go do those things, and notably, especially when I go to speak or teach a class, my business partner, John Hennon, who is just an incredible man and an incredible encouragement to me. John says, you're doing what you're made to do. You're going to be in your wheelhouse. Before I go out to speak, oftentimes I'll get nervous. I just launched a new course about, providing Chick-fil-A service in a McDonald's world. I've been talking a lot about that. And, before I go to present it the first time, and even the second time, I'll be like, man, I feel like I'm missing some things. I need to fix this. And John says, Mark, just go do it. It's what you're made to do. And it is. I get in there and I come alive and I see people's faces light up as new concepts and new ideas and new things that they can apply to their business hit them that ultimately, yes, make them better in business, but also help them live their best lives and help others live their best lives. So let me start here. I just gave you a big start. We're going to change the name of the podcast to the Ultimate Success Podcast, because I do really desire that our audience would achieve ultimate success. So let me talk to you about why I want you to live your best life and achieve ultimate success. In my life, what I've discovered is my best life is a life lived on purpose, doing what I was created to do. Doing what I was made to do. And I ask you the question, if you're completely burned out, exhausted, have nothing left for your family at the end of the day, you feel like you're constantly running and you're not enjoying life, are you living your best life? For many years in this business, I didn't. I worked my fingers to the bones and I was exhausted all the time, under so much pressure, so much stress, and was not living my best life. Are you living your best life? One of the things when I think of my best life, of course, every time I get to help someone, every time I get to teach someone something new or inspire someone, and I see that light in their eyes that they're getting something out of it, that brings me alive. One of the other things, though, that over the past many years, I've come to this realization what truly brings me alive is going home to my wife every night and just getting to be with her. That's my best life. Like, I want to live that best life because part of my purpose and what I'm created to do is to help her live her best life. But if I come home full of anxiety, it just fills her with anxiety. Now, that doesn't mean we don't share in those things together. We honestly do, and we've been through really hard stuff together. But, man, I love going home to her every night and pouring into her, and she pours into me, and we love being together. And I think after 25 years of marriage, it's just so amazing. And I'm sure that doesn't mean we'll never struggle or go through hard times together again, but man, that is my best life. Are you living your best life with your family? And then there's ultimate success. When I think of ultimate success, I don't think of how many houses I sold. I don't translate that to how many people watch this on YouTube. In fact, if you look at my YouTube, like the algorithms probably are not on my side when it comes to YouTube because I get, 100 or 200 views. You know what? I always think of this. I think, what if the one person who needed that episode today watched it and it had an impact on them? That is my desire. So I'm not counting my YouTube views. I'm not counting my TikTok likes. I'm not even on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or how many views I get on Reels or none of that is important because someday at my funeral, no one is standing up to talk about that. No one is going to stand up and say, man, Mark sold a lot of houses. Mark had so many videos that he put out on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the platform is then. Hopefully, I die so many years out that there's some crazy cool platform at that point. Maybe we're not even doing video. We're doing some kind of virtual silhouette thing. I don't know. Is that the right term? I don't even know. But there's going to be something crazy, right? But I don't want to be known for that. However, if a client stands up that I did sell a house to and said we were going through the hardest time of our life when we had to sell that house, and Mark stepped in, and he didn't just step in as a realtor, he stepped in as a friend, and he cared for us, and he prayed with us, and he walked us through that hard time. But then once he got paid, he didn't disappear. We moved across the country, and he still called us. And he still showed that it was about us. It wasn't about the commission, right? That matters way more. That impact matters way more than that commission I got. Because guess what? That commission is going to come in today and pay bills tomorrow. And it doesn't really matter. We all need to pay our bills. And that takes some stress off. But it's not what matters. If I work while my kids are young, which I did. And I can stand here today with kids that are almost all grown and out of the house. I've still got one in the house. And I can be honest with you and say, I wasn't present a lot of the time that I should have been. And I do have some regret around that. But at the end of the day, I was present for the most important things. And there's some of you out there that you're not present for your family. You're not present for your spouse. And I believe as I'm talking about ultimate success, the impact you have on them and the way that you sow into their lives, it matters. Because at the end of everything, that's your legacy. That is what you're passing on to the next generation. You don't want to pass on being a workaholic. You can pass on a good work ethic and a hard work ethic. And you can pass on a desire to serve people well. But I don't think passing on being a workaholic or an alcoholic or a drug addict or any of that. None of that's going to have the lasting impact that you want to have. I believe ultimate success is in what people will say in those moments where I'm gone. What are they going to remember when my name's brought up? And I hope it has nothing to do with houses. And I hope it has nothing to do with coaching clients. Maybe the coaching clients are the one talking about the impact that I've had, because that's what matters. The other thing with ultimate success, for me personally, I hope that the end of my life comes and I enter into the gates of heaven and I hear God say to me, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That is ultimate success. And I hope I'm a good steward of what God has given me and what he's created me to do and to be on this earth, so that someday I hear those words, "Well done." So that's it. That is, I want to help you live your best life. I want to help you achieve ultimate success. And we're going to do that through the Ultimate Success Podcast. We have the Ultimate Success Community that we are launching. This community is going to help you in your business, right? We launched the 100 Days to 100K course. You can find that at It's Mark Peebles and join the Ultimate Success Community. So we are putting that out there so that you can be a part of a community that doesn't just drive you to be better in business. And there's going to be a ton of stuff on there that's going to make you better in business. But the culture that we want to create in that community are people who really just want to leave a legacy, to have an impact on the world around them. Do you want to be a part of that kind of community? Do you need that in your life? Do you need to stay centered and focused on the things that are most important? So what are you going to expect out of the Ultimate Success Podcast? Well, we're still going to have some phenomenal guests. In fact, I'm really excited because the first few guests that we have are like rock stars. They're people who are influencing the industry and have for many years, and they have an impact that is just massive. And they're going to sit down with little old me and have a conversation, but I think it's going to be life-changing for you. And so we're going to have phenomenal guests. There will be weeks that we don't have guests. And in those weeks, you're going to hear from me. Usually it'll be on a business topic. It might be a little bit more on a personal topic, kind of like I'm talking about today. But you are going to hear things that I believe will inspire you to live your best life and achieve ultimate success. Work towards the achievement of ultimate success. So, little change in the format. When we do have guests, I'll do an intro for that guest. But at the end, one of the things that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to pull some things that I am taking away for the day. Hopefully you get some things that you want to take away, but I'm going to pull some things that I'm taking away from my conversations, and I'll come on at the end and I'll summarize my 3 biggest takeaways. And so we're going to share those with you on a weekly basis. I believe these are going to be high impact episodes, and you are going to walk away different. So thank you. Thank you for hanging with me. There's a lot of you that have been listening and watching, whether it's podcast or watching on YouTube. You've been doing this for a long time, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. That it just means the world to me that you want to be a part of what we're doing. So thank you. I look forward to the future. It's going to be great. So for today, remember this. We are in this to help you live your best life, and we want you to achieve ultimate success. And that's what we're pushing you towards. We're challenging you, and we're inspiring you to do moving forward. Thanks for joining me this week. We'll be back next week with our first amazing guest. See you soon.